Hello and welcome to today's historic best of 3 deck tech and gameplay video on Maze's End, or basically a Gates deck. A Gates deck uses all of the land, not all, most of the lands with the Gate subtype in both the Guild Gates and some of the newer gates from Baldurs Gate, such as Baldurs Gate, amongst other gates that the set introduced, to, besides just generally making land drops, to help support some of our synergies in our deck, like Gatebreaker Rams and Gate Colossus, as well as Gates Ablaze, amongst others, that reward you for having more gates in your deck. And the real reason why we run this deck and makes it sort of somewhat viable, besides like Baldur's Gate allowing you to ramp an absurd amount, we also have Maze's End, which is an alternate little win con if we happen to activate its ability for 3 mana and have 10 gates with unique names, which is pretty easily done for this deck. We're also running some more general sort of helpful cards. Your Vetoes and Absence are some interaction. Reclaimer lets you go and actually search up any particular lands you might need. Dryad of the Leasing Grove helps with mana fixing. And Cultivator Colossus is a bit of a flood insurance card if you can manage to get there. Though it's pretty useless in aggressive matches, so we'll oftentimes side those out. Sideboard, relatively simple to understand. Silver Bullet cards. Dovin Vetoes for more controlling decks. Clothuses and Scavenging Oozes for more graveyard decks. Knight of Autumn is usually just there for artifact and enchantment removal. Wrath of God for some sweepers. Vortex for opposing life gain decks. And I suppose the occasional Omniscience deck, but those are pretty rare. The only sideboard card that's a little weird is Crucible of Worlds, since all of the land destruction effects that sort of float around, the occasional Field of Ruin or someone being cute playing Ponza or land destruction. Since this deck, as we talked about, is so dependent on all of its lands existing and being in play, being able to bring in Crucible of Worlds means that we don't just instantly lose a game to land destruction, which there's more of it floating around than one would think. And that is the base of the deck. Remember to like the video if you liked it, sub if you like my content, and we'll go on now to game number 1. And game number 1 with our little Gates list. 3 lands, 4 spells. We would like a 4th spell for the Circuitous Route, but odds are we'll find something, so we'll go ahead and keep this. We have some interaction and some big boys to build into. Shambling gas from our opponent almost certainly means some sort of sack deck. We are a slower deck. Also, I apologize if you can hear a neighbor dog barking and another neighbor mowing the grass. I've tried to wait for them to be done, and they just don't want to stop, seemingly. We'll go ahead and play the Gateway Plaza in the meantime. We are a slower deck, so we don't really mind a lot of our lands coming into play tap, and it's pretty much required, honestly, for a lot of the deck to work. But we do have some untapped lands, so we'll go ahead and Plaza of Harmony, get some life, and we can play a Dryad of the Elysian Grove, play a Gate of the Citadel, or Gate to the Citadel, pardon. Honestly, pretty good. Let's see, it's only -1/-1. I'm almost certain this block is free. Maybe if they have a Fatal Push, it would suck. Probably doing that for a land drop, so they can play whatever. Or not. Or maybe. We shall see. Alright, opponent, what you doing? Okay, I mean, that's the way to do it. They have to be very desperate for lands. Did you get one and all that? I mean, I gotta be honest, like, it would suck to sort of lose. There we go. They got lands and treasures. They're fine. Now I don't feel that bad at all. Let's see. I guess we'll play... you know, we'll play Eiganjo, just because we don't really know what they're playing. The Seed of the Empire, basically. We'll go ahead and Circuitous Route for a couple of gates. One will be Baldurs Gate, and right now we just need more reliable access to colors. So we'll start assembling all of the unique gates we would need for, for the Maze's End. I guess we actually will play the Beseiju, since we do have a Fateful Absence. I forgot the Dryad lets us also make additional lands for a second there. I promise I have spent the normal amount of time since the set came out. Admittedly, it's only been about a week, but essentially about a little... A symbol from parts? The hell? What? Let's see. Target creature card, graveyard, perpetually gains 1/2 black, exile from the yard, shuffle into the library, create token. 4/4 black and zombie. Addition to first type. So it, like, gives it, Eternalize, I guess? Okay, that's a thing. Okay, that's not that bad, actually. I was talking mad shit, but it's really not that bad. Weird all day long. 100%. Okay, they shot that in. Coolest Procession, one or more non-token dies, make one with the decay. Okay, cool, make a decay thing. So is it blue-black zombies? In a weird way? Oh, wait, okay, it's almost certainly blue-black zombies now. We'll save the Fateful Absence for the Eternalized guy. So it's not end of play tapped. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. On our turn. Ooh, that's pretty good. But in the meantime, I think we'll Boseiju and the Seat of the Empire here to Baldurs Gate. Probably make a load of white mana. And from that, we'll also Circuitous Route. Again, looking for more. We might actually start looking for card draw. So maybe we'll go one Gate to Manorborn, then maybe a Boros Guild Gate. You know, let's get Is it actually. We have a Guild Summit in hand. Let's see, we can go ahead and play our Gate Colossus here. Very useful. Honestly, I think we'll just Guild Summit and have it replace one card. And we got another gate, so we'll play Tumbletown here. Pretty good. We'll go ahead and attack. It's basically a free attack. They could always chump block, but we don't really mind that. This does make them a decayed zombie token, but they can't block, so we're not actually that concerned. They appear to be going slow enough, or have just gotten a bad enough draw, that we can actually sort of shift into the role of the aggressor, as we have largely sort of ramped into a good point to where now we sort of change roles and speeds to want to close out the game. And we basically have all the ways in the world we want to now, since with the Guild Summit and the other Circuitous Route in our hand, this actually turns into ramp 2 and draw 2 with the Guild Summit. Not too terrible. And when we do the same trick of tapping non-gates to tap our... Where's our Baldurs Gate? It's here somewhere. Ah. To tap our Baldurs Gate, we can make more mana to use our mana-colored gates. Pretty goddamn neato, if I say so myself. See what our opponent wants to do. I don't know if that Assemble the Parts card is that good. Where'd that card go? I don't think that's worth it. I mean, to be fair, well, alchemy designers have some, admittedly, really fucking weird idea of, like, what constitutes a rare. One sec. There we go. I actually caught that sneeze before that went totally fucking sideways. So, back to the original plan. Eiganjo and Seiju, turning them into probably some green mana. Let's see, we can go ahead and play the route. Get some more gates here. We can once again continue our original plan of looking for all the unique gate types, since we have enough card advantage right now that we don't really need to worry too much about that. And we'll go ahead and play Gatebreaker Ram, why not? We'll just go ahead now and just attack with our... Well, you know what, actually, let's not give them card draw off of the Augur. So we'll go ahead and attack with a Gate Colossus, as it can't be blocked by small creatures, which appears to be all their deck can muster. Now we have enough mana to Fateful Absence whatever they play, if it's particularly big and scary. And if nothing else, we can always say activate a Manorborn or a Tumbletown and find more land or more non-lands in the case of the monocolored gates. Okay, so our opponent is playing some sort of blue-black zombie, what's the word, aristocrats style deck, which is fine. I think we'll run a couple of Wraths and maybe a couple of Colossuses. We don't need to go too heavy into the graveyard thing. The Cultivator Colossus, I'm assuming their deck is a little more aggressive than we saw, so this is a good card to keep against control matchups like we talked about, but against anything else it's not that great. The real question is, what else do we... Honestly, the Reclaimer's not that good here. Again, it's one of those... Reclaimer, much like the Colossus, are good against slower matchups where you know you're going to have time to be kind of fancy with it. As most control decks don't have super reliable ways to mess with your lands, and they're not really prioritizing killing you particularly fast, which I'm going to assume our opponent's doing. To be fair, I think they did, what did they miss a land drop for, like, I think, what, 2-3 turns? So it's very possible they just, you know, got screwed by RNG, which is happens to us all. The shuffler, whatever boogeyman people want to blame, which we've all are guilty of, myself included. I suppose one has to ask, what do they bring in? Because they appear to be some sort of zombie aristocrats style deck from all that I can see. So what common things in the format? I mean, besides like potentially more removal spells for just our like big chunky boys in the Ram and the Colossus. So I mean, maybe they bring in more interaction, but their deck appears to be somewhat aggressive. Maybe they're more value oriented, and I could be wrong. I do hope our opponent's here. There we go. That's it. Because I was actually liking this game, and I was gonna like kind of hope I could use this game for a video, since I try to avoid including games that only have like one of the like. Basically, I avoid including best of ones if I can, since it's not what I play. This it's pretty good, honestly. 3 lands, some interaction, a couple board sweepers that, as far as I can tell, will pretty reliably deal with whatever their deck can throw at them size-wise. Since they appear to be more smaller creatures going wider than going smaller but bigger. Again, we'll just go ahead and try to slowly activate our work towards our mazes and I'd say that's not that bad. I'm actually gonna Fateful Absence the Reaper now, so they only get 1 card draw from the Reaper. If we waited till next turn, the Gates Ablaze would give them, what, 3 more cards, sorry, 4 in total. Now, admittedly, they might just play another Reaper, and we're right back where we started, to be fair. Yeah, kind of like they are now. A little bit like that. But in that moment, I still maintain that it was the correct thing to do. Our plan is basically Guild Gate and sweep, and just sit here and wait. Yeah, they get a lot of cards, but it's to the point where we kind of had to do it. I mean, it does hurt them, which is something, and that does show that my original idea that their deck is actually a little, like, pretty aggressive, and they just happen to hit poorly, was pretty spot on. Okay, Hive only really messes with the what's it called? With the Gate Colossus, so there's that. I think we're just gonna play the Soaring City as a land. playing a Gatebreaker Ram after the ram. Sorry, playing a Ram after land, blah, 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 and keeping a Fateful Absence if they want to attack with their Hive. Because to be fair, and correctly so, they might see an opening to potentially win here with their Hive. Alright, they do. I would not be the most surprised if they have like a counterspell for this, but they do have to burn up a treasure, which is something. Or maybe a Spell Pierce. It'd be weird if it's in his list. Because I don't see a whole lot of space for counterspells. Or they could just tap the land. Okay, that's not that bad. That's fine. I'm comfortable with that trade. Why are you... What's giving you priority for anything? Oh, village rights. Okay, okay, that's fine. That is... Okie dokie. And since we don't have anything else to do, we might as well just route again and just continue our game plan. Baldurs Gate. We're running a little low on card draw, so we'll probably look for the monocolored gates. So we can also turn our excess Baldurs Gate mana into card draw, basically. I'm sorry, what is that card? Xander's Wake. 2 in the black, when one more creatures you control die, draft a card only once a turn. Cool! I don't know if that card's that good. Let's see, so we can gate to Tumbletown. We will use a couple blue to turn Baldur's Gate mana into green. Then we'll Maze's End. We'll go a Surgeon. I think we do need, yeah, more card draw, so we'll just continue with our original plan of getting the monocolored gates first, as that's probably going to be pretty important. I guess the other one can be a Gateway Plaza. Go ahead and pay the 1 here. Since we're getting pretty close, I believe, to the win con, right? Did I order lull myself? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I believe I did order lull myself. If I lose, I screwed up that ordering. I wish I would have noticed it before I did it. But I gotta be honest, I'm also trying to like properly explain my plays for the sake of a video, and I biffed it. But they don't appear to be killing us. Search. Get the fuck out of here. They're gonna take my Maze's End. Yep. That's... Fuck. I'm an idiot. That's cool. Ah! You fucking asshole! Why do you have to draw the veto? Oh, you piece of shit! Okay, well that... Fuck, I didn't even think about the fact that Ego can hit lands. Fuck me, that's really fucking frustrating. Yeah, I'm just a fucking moron. I gotta kill him the old-fashioned way. Whatever, I guess. Okay. Stick with the original plan, however. Just turn gate mana into... we'll do blue mana. Activate our Gate to Sea Tower, see what we can find. Archway Angel's pretty good. So now we have to honestly play a little safer than we needed to, because I'm an idiot and order lulled myself. But we're in a pretty good spot. We have vetoes and Gates Ablaze, so we can pretty reliably be okay. I don't think we're going to die. I think we've still got this game. But for you all at home who might see this deck and be like, yeah, that seems pretty interesting, I might want to play it. Remember ordering, because sometimes you get totally screwed by your own incompetence, like I have. Many a times. And as I will, no doubt, in the future. See what our opponent does. If they go to destroy our Gate Colossus, that's not that bad of a deal. That's fine. We don't love it, but it's fine. We only have one veto in hand, so we're trying to save it. If they do nothing else on their end turn, we can always activate one of the monocolored gates here. Yeah. We have a load of mana, a load of cards, but I don't know what they're doing. I do feel confident that we've sort of turned the corner and we've got this game now. Acquisition experts. You know what? Let's, you know what? That's fine. Go ahead and take the Gates Ablaze. You already know it's in my hand. Because I choose that, right? Yeah, I do. They already know I have the Gates Ablaze. That's not that big of a deal to me. Now, maybe if they try and be cute and do a Dovin's Veto, then maybe we'll figure this out. Or if they try to discard a Dovin's Veto, then, you know, whatever, that's fine. But we'll, again, as I was trying to loosely talk about, we'll activate one of our monocolored gates. That's fine, since the gate classes will come back if we draw another gate anyway, so that's not that big of a deal. That is something we immediately veto. That is why we saved that, because we do need the gate colossus to win now. We just do. Okay, Wrath of God's okay. That's not that bad. I'm just going to stick with the same plan, turning some mana into more mana. Probably going to get some green. Activate the Gates of Mannerborn, see what we find. Guild Summit's not bad. Let me do... Oof. Let me do... Oh, you need blue, don't you? Let's do... Yeah, we'll do blue here. Guild Summit. We'll tap, like... Let's see. Tap some of the monocolored ones. Maybe not a blue. We might need that. What we draw. There we go. And then playing a Guild Gate. The synergy between the Colossus and the Summit will take place. Gate Colossus on top. Guild Summit lets us draw it. We then play a couple of big old scary lads. And are honestly pretty comfortable to just start hitting. Again, they could remove loads of our stuff. Very possible. But I feel like we're doing pretty goddamn well. Alright, they're deadly disputing for more things. What's even in his spellbook? Slaughter Specialist, Acquisition, Blood Priest. Not great. Kind of okay. I don't think we really need to worry that much. All the cards are okay. They're playing real fast and loose with their life total. And again, if they remove one of our Gate Colossus. Okay, let's do the same thing. Turn mana into mana. Baldurs Gate, I believe, needs to be on... There we go, and then they just scoop it. Did go pretty well. The sound is totally borked, but that's whatever. It's a new update. That shit happens all the time. But that was our first game, and a pretty good showing for the deck. We'll go on now into game number 2. In game number 2 with our little gates list. Again, we go first because we have a brain in our skull. This is a bad keep. We only have 2 lands. Can't really do that much, so we'll go ahead and throw it back. Okay, game. You're not being that cool with me here. Because now I have to go to 5, which isn't great. But this is good. We can do something with this. This is fine. Honestly, Archway Angel and the Reclaimer can go. We're in a pretty good spot, so we're not going to like be too upset about it. A Gatebreaker Ram is as good of an early game drop as his deck basically gets. Sage you into a pup. I know for me this would mean harden the scales, but I know it doesn't mean that to everybody else, so... Go ahead and play the Gateway Plaza just to get access to more colors of mana. Are they playing Hardened Scales? Because I would love if they are. They might be. They might be playing Golgari Hardened Scales, which would be fascinating. We'll just continue with our plan here. Play more gates. Hold up. Do have a Besage if they happen to play something. Sorry, what? To a wolf, another wolf, one counter on pup. Dies, gain life. Okay! That's interesting. I don't know if it's good, but it's interesting. Yeah, they're gonna attack. We're gonna take some bonking, which isn't great. Sorry, Esper? Or Abzan, sorry. Boop. My brain forked out there. Again, more gates. We do have a big old scary Gatebreaker Ram to sort of help fight for the board. I wouldn't be surprised if they just immediately have a removal spell for it. It has to be said. Is it Abzan Wolves? I mean, to be fair, the 3 colors do technically have wolf support floating around. They can't attack without me just trading something. I think we'll go ahead and gate to the Citadel and Besage you away their Ranger class. This card can get really out of hand really quickly. Yeah, they get a land drop, and yeah, it can be really bad, to be fair, but that Ranger class, I think, represents enough of a threat that it needs to go, like, now. And we can't just start attacking. I mean, maybe they start blocking. I don't think they do, but they could. We have a veto if they try to remove our Ram here. Because they can't just keep sitting here doing that thing. Beginning of your end step. Creatures you control and creatures cards in hand, library, and grave. That is cool. It's getting vetoed, but that is a cool card. It's interesting. I don't know if it's good, but it's interesting. Okay, we're getting to the point where it's starting to get a little big there. Have an 8. Okay, so we're doing okay, like, trade-wise. Again, keep on attacking. We'll see how committed they are. Okay, they're starting to feel a little bit scared, which is fine. So it'll be first Paxong Pup, and then the biggest Tenacious Pup dies first. So, no. No. Let's get rid of you, because you two are the biggest creatures on the board. We have 8 power, correct? So, yeah. The unbuffed one is one that lives. 5/3. Yeah, that's right. So they're clearly feeling somewhat threatened to take a block like that. And now at the end of their turn, we can always just gate to the Citadel and draw a card and make something happen. Okay, very weird mana dork. But that's fine. I do like their deck, though. It is really interesting. Why a minute. They do appear to be another creature-y aggro deck, so the sideboarding strategy will likely remain the same. Maybe not Clothus's, admittedly. Well, that's not that useful. But it is, I suppose, a dude on the board. This is sometimes all that you need. Yeah, and to be fair, okay, it can block the pup or the naturalist if it wants to attack. Okay. Their claimer isn't awful here. It's not great. It's not great. Maybe we can sacrifice... That's kind of weird, though. Yeah, maybe we will just sacrifice the gate to the Citadel and find maybe a Baldurs Gate. Maybe a Plaza of Harmony if we're like really low and feeling scared. Down to 2 cards in hand. I think they can sacrifice that to make a wolf. But they can only do it during their turn, so we have to commit to it now. Which has to, you know, has to be said. And does impact their decision making a little bit. Oh, Nala, you sweet pup. You're losing your mind. Sorry. Okay, so it is some weird wolfy deck. Okay. I'm in it. Okay, so how the hell are we gonna do this? So we do... Rule Guild Gate, we tap, because this is colorless for the Reclaimer, right? Yes. So we can tap 1 for the white here. We can get rid of one of the Gruul Guild Gates, as we have them both already. So we get rid of one Guild Gate. Go look up for a Baldurs Gate. Now we just sit here and, like, not attack and just sit here and wait. We kind of have to sit here, and I don't know if we would have the greatest Game 1 matchup against this, but we're not bad, I guess. But we need to find something here to make this happen. Sounds silly, but the Colossus just being a big old scary dude might actually be enough. I'm sorry. Exuberant wolf bear attacks. You may change. Okay, this is okay. Okay, this is weird, but I'm in it. You may change the base power of target human you control. What human do you have? I mean, the druid, I guess. Okay, that's something. Okay, I was talking mad shit, but that's not fair. So we do, I guess, green or white. Yes, we can make a loaded green here. Play a Cultivator Colossus. 7, not that much. Okay, so we couldn't. So then, let's see. I guess we can do white. White. Using a Reclaimer, we'll go ahead and get rid of the Citadel since we've already activated its ability. And I think we'll go and find probably a Plaza of Harmony. I'm feeling a little scared. Well, maybe it might be a Mason. That might actually just be smart. Use our big guys here to sit back and block. See what our opponent wants to do. Alright, not that bad. We can do something with this. And just like last game, we just start turning our mana of one color into another. We'll Baldurs Gate for some white mana. Mace in, bounce that bad boy back in. Now, we need to probably find... Yeah, we do need to start working towards our Maze's End condition here. And now we're just largely going to be okay. We're just going to kind of sit and chill. And slowly progress our Maze's End win condition as we just sit here in control. Since I'm not certain the deck has a whole lot of card draw, has to be said. Okay, that's pretty good. Just in case, so I don't order lull myself again. Okay, so we do green or red, turning that into a loaded green mana. We then Circuitous Route to find more gates. We need individually named ones that aren't already on the field. So, is it? Then we can Maze's End. I didn't even count if we win, but we might. We go for a Simic Guild Gate. Booyah! We actually got the win con in the video! I think we'll just play some Wrath of Gods here. Cultivator Colossus is cute, but it's only really a good keeper for control decks. We'll keep the Reclaimer in since it can block early on. And the ability to find what we need might actually be kind of relevant. But if nothing else, we actually got the win con in the deck, or the win con for the deck in a video. As I get so excited, I trip over my words. Now, our opponent is playing some sort of Abzani Wolfy list, which is interesting. It's genuinely interesting. Today's video has had good opponents with good decks, so if nothing else, this is already a good video for a tinkerer like me. Now, what I was going to say is, as a Abzan Wolfy list, they probably have some sort of land destruction floating around. They do have the Boseiju who endures, but we're not going to be as all in on the Maze's End victory thing now, since one, we got it in the video, and sadly it doesn't have a animation, which is kind of poopy-doopy, but whatever. But also, I don't think we really need to get it to win now. Since, I mean, all we really kind of have to do is just sort of control out a board. And if we get the Maze's End, yeah, great. And maybe we shouldn't have 2 Maze's End on the field at once. As a precautionary measure. There is something to be said for that. Maybe we could have cut the Reclaimers and maybe put in a Crucible of Worlds. But I don't think they're gonna, like, go crazy into the land destruction with your, like, Fall of Thorans of the world and all that stuff. Their deck just doesn't appear to be like that. Their deck appears to be pretty honest. This is a little flooded, but it's a good problem to have in this deck. Alright, playing on some puffs of wolves early on. Again, just develop our just general gate plan. If they go a little too wide, we have an Ablaze. If they don't go that heavy, we just play Ram, and we're in a pretty good spot, that has to be said. Not doing anything on their turns, really kind of heavy. Does tell me that odds are, unless they just absolutely pop off next turn, which is unlikely. That's great. Luckily, Boseiju does care about basic land types, so we can go get one of the monocolored gates here. We'll get a gate to Sea Tower here, since we don't really have any blue mana. So, yeah, they did have the Boseijus, so we were a little concerned about that. I see them now desperately hovering over it, because they thought for certain that Boseiju basically became a wasteland, which it doesn't. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, that's panic mode. That needs to go right fucking now. What an oddly... I mean, I guess it makes wolves. Okay. And it's honestly, like, not a bad card to just have. It's fascinating. Also, super fucking spicy. Well done, opponent. That's not even a joke, dude. That's great. Let's see. Since we can take a turn off here, we'll just play a Dryad of the Elysian Grove and just play lots of lands. See what our opponent does. Because if that thing, like, sticks, we're totally fucked. Oh, God. Okay, we'll see if you can't answer an Arming Gala, how quickly that thing gets out of hand. Oh, thank God. Huh. The million-dollar question is... I think, weirdly, I have to leave the Arming Gala alone. But I have to get rid of the Sword of Mind, or Body and Mind. Because if that thing is allowed to arm a creature, loads of my deck is green, and we're totally fucked, and the Gatebreaker Ram loses its scariness factor. Yeah, I guess we can, in theory, get a Gate Colossus, but basically turning off, what, 2/3 of the creatures in the deck is so scary that it basically demands an answer. The Arming Gala going off isn't great. I don't like that. Let's be entirely fucking honest about this for 2 seconds. As they probably kill my Gatebreaker Ram with whatever removal spell they're hovering over. And yeah, if they would have had the Sword and Body in mind, yeah, it would have been almost immediately game over. So maybe if by some miracle we lose this game, maybe we do cut the Reclaimers. My God, that card is gross. Maybe we do cut the Reclaimers and bring in some Knights of Autumn for their artifacted enchantment stuff. $1 million question. Yeah, let's just draw here. See what we find. If nothing else, we could just play a Reclaimer. Circuitous Route is something, and will help to make our Gatebreaker Ram extra big and scary. I'm almost certain they're just sitting on a removal spell to kill our Gatebreaker Ram when we go to combat. Yeah. It's not great. I guess if he has some sort of pump spell, this would be a bad attack. But I think their Arming Gala is their pump spell for their deck, if you know what I mean. God damn, it's got Trample and Vigilance because of the pup, too. That thing's gonna be a goddamn monster. I guess the $1 million question is... I guess we can afford to just sort of take an attack here. So, well, okay, if they just attack like this and give it away for free, which, yeah, they're not. They're clearly smart enough to not do that. So I think we'll go Circuitous Route, find some gates, get our gate colossus to be real cheap. Baldurs Gate, maybe a gate to Tumbletown for some more card draw. Gate Colossus becomes free. The Reclaimer isn't doing a whole lot, so maybe we will Reclaimer away the Soaring City here. The real question is, what do we find? Honestly, yeah, Maze's End. That's about as good as it's gonna get. $1 million question. I think we still attack with the Gatebreaker Ram, because he does have to double block, and if he does, we just kill the Wolf Bear. It's the only thing that makes sense. I think we keep the Dryad back. Or does he just feel scared enough to just chump away the Wolf Bear? Or they have a combat train. Okay. We're okay. We're actually alright. That's just bought them a turn, and the trample still goes through, so that's not that bad, really. They had another Seiju, which is fine. Find more gates, since the monocolored gates are, in fact, basic land types that we've talked about before, and Seiju does care about that. You're really not going to like how that works. Because that one's going to get that card right back. Yeah, that doesn't work like you thought it worked. Or maybe you knew and it's one of those... It's just... Okay, that's be fair. That's not... Yeah, that's not totally fair, though. Let's see. So we do... Have I activated any of you? So we can go 1 for green. Have I acted any of the other ones? Haven't. Okay, we'll just turn you into a load of green mana. Green mana into activating our green gate. Finding a route, which is pretty useful. We don't actually have that many more in the deck, actually, now that I think about it. It's not actually that good. So we'll go ahead and probably just keep on looking for stuff to play here. The Veto's pretty good. Has to be said. So we do the gate to the Citadel and find another one and still maintain Dogen's Veto mana. So yeah, and then we just attack with the Gatebreaker Brand. That's real big and scary. Again, if they block, we're totally cool with that. They do double block. The Wolf Bear dies first, as that is the bigger of the two creatures. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. I thought it's exacties. I'm an idiot. So yeah, we can save a veto if they try to kill something. So we do have that. If nothing else, we can reclaim it at the end of the turn. But I actually don't think we should even give them the opportunity or an opening. So I think we just sit, do nothing, attack them, and if they have a removal spell, we counter it. That was fantastic. This deck has been fantastic over the last week of testing. So if you guys were looking for like a really fun list, because I think Baldur's Gate and all of the gate cards are the best things to come out of the Baldur's Gate set. Kind of makes sense thematically. But weirdly, everyone gives those specialized cards loads of shit, which, I don't think they're that bad, but whatever, fine. But I think all the gate support is fucking fantastic. So if you wanted to play a really fun list, and you have been playing Historic for a while like me, and remember a time when the Gates deck existed before Baldur's Gate, now this deck is even better. It might actually be like one of the better decks that I've made, and might actually have like real potential to get like really high up. You can see that this deck has gotten me to Diamond 2, and if I kept going, could probably get me to Mythic in the course of the next day or two if I really grinded it out. So yeah, play the deck, it's fantastic. And remember to like the video if you liked it and would like to see more, and if you'd like to see more of my channel as a whole, that's what the subscribe button. The subscribe button is for. I'm getting excited and tripping over my words. And remember to stay safe out there, and if you're in most of North America, or really the Northern Hemisphere, try and stay cool, because it's hot as fuck outside. See you all in the next video. Bye-bye.